Hey guys, for today's video, we're going to be doing kind of a corrective color. My client had been going to a few different hairstylists and they're all getting it wrong. So today, hopefully we can get it right by turning her overly highlighted balayage color into more of an ombre. You can follow me on Instagram at Christy@thecottage.
Hey guys, so I'm gonna try to do this quickly. I feel like I'll lose a lot of people. Don't really stick around a lot for this part of the video, so I'm just gonna try to get it out really quickly. So my client that I'm doing, this is the first time doing her hair. She had to go to a new stylist for moving and they took her balayage that she normally likes just down here, like very high. Wasn't happy, went to another stylist. That person put like just black all over her hair on her roots. It was very, very dark. You'll be able to see like a little color where it's super dark. She wasn't happy with that. Went to another stylist and they did highlights. So now she has like the grow out look of highlights where she just wants it really rooty and all that stuff. So that's kind of where we're at for the service today. Today we're going to work on just giving her like a root shadow, darkening her up a little bit, not too much, and then brightening up through her ends. We're gonna try to keep some of that like tone that she has in her hair. Like the pictures that she showed me, it was kind of like the mid tone. So we're gonna try to keep that bright in the ends, maybe go up a little bit higher on the face, but that is going to be it. So to start her service off, I'm gonna go through and do like the blonde. The ombre is more what she wants. So I'm gonna use my Schwarzkopf Blonde Me with 20 volume and Olaplex.
All right, and here's my client's before again. Hopefully that explanation of her hair was easy to understand. You can see that she has those highlight grow out, and right there you can see that it's a little bit brassier, and that's because of that dark color that the previous stylist was trying to lift through. So our goal today is to give her more of an ombre look and then go through and do a root shadow. So I'm going to be taking some pretty large sections up through her hair, and this will help maintain the overall color that she has. But where we go through and do the balayage, we're going to lighten up through that midsection just a little bit more, and we're going to tone her to cool her down slightly just to give her more of a neutral overall appearance versus being too brassy. So we're just going to start the service. And again, we're not going like high up around her hairline or anything. That's why I'm not starting with my hairline foils that I normally do. So we're just going to start in the back and work our way up. So you'll see for the sections that I'm taking are quite a bit larger than what I normally would do. And this is because she is happy with the overall tone of her hair. So I don't feel like we need to go through it and do a massive amount of lightening. We're really just trying to blend and brighten up the ends a little bit more. And also because of that dark color that was put on her hair, I'm not sure if they just tapped the roots or if they just did up the front area or if they did like a heavy amount through the ends or anything. So I'm trying to be really cautious. You'll see as I'm painting through her hair, as I'm weaving my sections, I'm gonna try and like pick out any of those darker pieces to try and maintain that depth in her hair. I don't want to go over the super dark pieces in her hair because I don't know if that's her natural hair or if it's hair that has been colored dark. And I don't want to create any more orange tones or brassy tones in the hair by lifting through it. So if you see me like pulling out any dark pieces of hair, that's why. All right, I don't want to bore you guys, so I'm just going to finish doing a few more of these sections up the back of her head, and then we will move to the front. Okay, I just noticed something that I wanted to point out. So look right here, just beyond where the blonde is and where maybe an inch before her roots, you can see that dark band in her hair. It's a little bit extra shinier than the rest of her hair. You can tell that that's where the previous color was on her hair, where somebody used like a permanent color for the root shadow. I am trying really hard to stay away from touching that, because anytime that you try to break through a permanent color creates a lot of warmth in the hair. So I don't want to touch that, because I know going forward she's going to always have these orange brassy tones that she's going to be combating. So anytime that she comes in, if we try to bleach through that, she's going to always have to tone that orange out. So I'd rather just let it grow out, not touch it, deal with it later on, instead of constantly having this like orange thing that we always have to deal with. So I'm going to stay away from not going up any further than what I'm doing right now. So that way I don't have to worry about trying to constantly have to blend out like a brassy spot in the hair. All right, so perfect example about bleaching through a permanent color. You can see in the root area how much warmer those highlights are, especially where it was around the front of the face. It was just extremely orange. So that's what we're trying to prevent from like doing any more of. So again, we're just going to try and stay more through the ends of the hair than trying to create any more brassiness. So keep that in mind whenever you're bleaching through someone's hair. You have to let them know what happens if we bleach through this dark and you have a whole bunch of orange. Are you going to hate your hair? Because chances are, if you have really dark hair with permanent color, even sometimes semi-permanent color, sometimes it just holds on. You have to talk to your clients, and I've not done this in the past and regretted it. So no, every time that I have a client that has very dark hair and they want to go blonde or lighten up, I ask them, what happens if we bleach through this and it's orange? Are you going to hate your hair? And then they usually say yes. And then I say, I don't think we should go with a full service, because I feel, my professional opinion, that your hair is going to go really orange. And I feel like maybe we should just start with a few little partial pieces of a balayage to see what your hair is going to do and go from there. Because if we do a full and your hair is going to go orange, I don't want you to say that I made your hair orange and now you hate it. It's your hair not being able to lift past that point. So just make sure you have that conversation, because sometimes even being blunt like that and having that conversation, sometimes clients will still be like, no, I've been blonde, my hair will be blonde, it will be fine. And then you go through with it and it turns orange. But because they had the idea in their head that it's gonna be blonde, they're now still really pissed off that it's orange. So please make sure you talk to your clients about these things and be perfectly clear. And sometimes even take a strand test and show them, this is what your hair is going to lift to. So make sure you cover yourself, because it's never going to be what their hair couldn't accomplish. It will always be what you can't accomplish to the client, not what they did to their hair that made it not capable. So make sure you cover your ground, talk to your clients about this, and always let them know the honest truth about every situation. That's what I've started to do going forward, and it's really saved me, because I don't word things anymore. I feel like there's so many people that are like, I just want to make my client happy, I just want to do what I can do. And I feel like that's just the old way of doing hair, where we would try to like overwork ourselves and doing things where we know we couldn't do what made them happy, but we're just going to try to do it anyways and hopefully it'll work out. I don't do that anymore. I tell my clients, I believe this is what's going to happen, and I don't think that you're going to get as blonde as you want to. So do you still want to go through with the service, or should we just do a partial and see what happens? So tell your clients and let them know, like, this is not me not being capable of creating a beautiful blonde. This is your hair not allowing me to create a blonde because of the colors and products that you've used on it. So it is not our fault. It is just sometimes you can't accomplish everything on every client that they want. So make sure you have those conversations. Make sure you word it in a way that you feel comfortable, that it's not that you're not able to, because of your capabilities, but because of what they have over processed their hair or colored it dark too many times or whatever. So ran over, but I feel like there's not enough times that I can express that to you guys, because I hear it often still about wanting to make somebody happy and doing something that you really probably shouldn't, and then maybe not getting the best outcome. So anyway, so we're just going to finish up going through the sides of the head, and because I feel like the other side is kind of hard to see what I'm doing, we're just going to stick to this side. All right, I don't know if you can see any of those areas kind of within the first 3 inches of her roots, but there's some splotchiness and unevenness. So I'm going to try to even that out and try to break through those warmer, brassier pieces. So because we are getting closer up to the top and closer to her face, I am going to bring it up a little bit closer also to brighten her up more around the hairline. We're still just not going like super tight up into her roots or anything, just trying to brighten her up more around the face. So that's what we're going to finish doing in these next few sections. So you'll see here when I'm painting that I'm going closer up towards the face and then dropping it down towards the back of the section. Again, we're going to go through with a root shadow to blend everything so that we eliminate those brassy roots and blend nicely into what we're painting right now. So we're just going to finish painting these sections and then flip to the other side. All right, I feel like this is probably the trickiest area in all of her hair because of how orange some of this spotting is, and then also because of how much dark there is. So I'm trying to weave out any of those dark pieces because, again, I'm not wanting to create any more orange tones in there, but I do want to try to lighten up those brassier pieces a little bit brighter just so that when the toner fades, whatever, we're beyond the orange stage. So again, this is like where she parts her hair and the facial framing like money piece area. So even though we're not going super close into the hairline, I still want her to have like a really nice pretty sweep of brighter pieces, you know, coming across the face. So that's what we were trying to accomplish in that first section. And now that we're working our way towards like the middle back towards the head, we're going to drop the blonde down a little bit further. And again, because she does want more of an ombre, I'm going to weave and backcomb some of these ends. We're going to leave out still a lot of that other color that she came in with, that warmer tone, but we're just going to try and brighten through some of this just to give her more of an ombre look where it's brighter through the ends. So hopefully this will just get a little bit lighter and brighter feeling towards the front of the face.
Okay, so I just got done washing my client at the sink, and she still has some, she lightened up a lot, but she's very, very warm. Obviously, her hair was very warm when we started, so I'm trying to figure out her toner. She doesn't want to be cool or anything, but I think being too cool wouldn't go with how warm, like, that mid color is. So, ooh, I think she has a little bit of level 8 in her hair that I need to tone down. So I'm gonna go through and I'm going to use mostly a level just 9. And then I was gonna use like a 951, which is like a level 9 ash, but I think I actually need like a little bit of a level 8 in there, because I don't know, should I? If I can find a level 8, I'm gonna use some 8 to tone her down. So give me a minute. Okay, yeah, so I found a level 8. So I'm gonna do probably like 3/4 level 9 and then just a quarter of 811 just to get that level 8 in there to cool down any of that level 8 brassiness, and just to soften it a little bit so it's not so orangey bright, but we want it to be a little bit more on the neutral side anyways. We want to work with the warmth instead of fight against it. And then I'm also going to use my 6 vol, and that will sit for probably like 10-15 minutes, and then we're going to work on doing her root shade next.
All right, so we're doing 3/4 of the level 9 and a quarter of the 811. I really love Schwarzkopf for toning down brassiness. I feel like just giving that little bit of ashiness in her hair really cools it down and tones down the warmth. You can see, look at how orange she is up in the roots. So obviously this didn't really tone down the root area, but we're going to work on the root toner now.
Okay, so we're getting ready to do our root shade, and she wants to be lighter than her natural, which is probably like level 4, by like a shade or 2 lighter, but she still wants to be like a noticeable root shadow. She has a lot of brassiness in her roots, so I'm gonna go with 516, which is like a chocolate ash, and then like a 7, and I'm gonna do just like half and half equal parts. So that's what we're gonna do for our root shade.
All right, and half for these two mixed together. I, again, love the cooler tones of the Schwarzkopf. They do such a good job of toning down the hair, but for her, especially because when she came in, she did like the warmth in their hair. I felt like it was just, you know, there was a lot of brass to it. It was overly caramel everywhere. So adding this darker shade, you can see it still has the warmth in their hair. And yes, there were areas that wasn't perfect that we couldn't like fix all the way just from how many different stylists had worked on her hair, but I feel like what we were able to accomplish, we did a good job. And I feel like even though she still has warmth in her hair, it's definitely more controlled and toned down now. So sometimes everything is just a progress. We're not going for like perfection the first time, but I feel like we're definitely like much improved, and she was so much happier with her hair. She loves that her roots were so much more toned down, and look how nice and bright the ends got, but still, you know, it's more of a controlled warmth that she has now. So also, I know some of you guys wonder, how do I style my client's hair? So I just wanted to throw this in there. So we're just curling everything towards the back center, and then we straighten it, you know, to smooth the ends out a little bit more and any frizzies that there is. And then we'll comb it all out, and that gives it more of like a softer wave. So here is the finished color. You can see that we can still see up through the highlights that were in her hair that she previously had, but it's just cooled down a lot more. So she still has that dimension there, but it's not like super brassy or anything anymore. All right, here's her before again. More of a grow out look with like a standard highlight and that super brassy warm area in the front. And then here is the after, much more cooled down, much more of a neutral tone versus like too warm everywhere. The roots definitely are toned down. Tried really hard to eliminate any of those orangier spots. So I feel like we did a really good job, and I'm glad that she left happy with her hair, especially after how many hairstylists she had gone through. So again, she does still have a little bit of that warmth showing through, but I feel like that toner did a good job of like controlling it. So we know that it's there. We know that it's something that we're going to have to deal with, you know, but at least we're able to work with it and control it instead of, you know, trying to create more orange or cover it up with more dark or whatever. It's just something that will take time. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.